Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Casey, and today we're gonna move through a quick hips and core focused flow. So let's get started on our backs. And just finding any shape that feels good for you. Maybe letting the legs extend to the top of your mat or drawing the soles of your feet together, letting your knees drop out wide. But wherever you are, giving yourself these first few moments to settle into your body. And take inventory of your physical body. Notice any tension, tightness. Where can you soften? And then noticing the pace of your breath. Quality of your breath. And take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Another big breath in through your nose. Exhale, let it go. Take one more big breath in. Hold it in at the top. And can you sip in just a little more air to cap it off? And then open your mouth, let everything go. Float your lips closed. Come back to breathing in and out through your nose. And see if you can start to equalize your inhales and your exhales. And on your next breath, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then find happy baby. Reach for the outer edges of your feet, arms split between your legs. Drive your heels down toward your knees, the knees down toward the outer edges of your ribs. And start to glide your shoulders down your back. See if you can soften your sacrum down toward the earth. And on your next breath, keep what you've got with your left leg, but just play around with extending your right leg. Half happy baby. Can you keep lengthening your tailbone toward the top edge of your mat? And then switch. So come back to happy baby. And then maybe the left leg starts to extend. And your next breath, bend your left knee back to happy baby, just a breath. And then hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. So we'll take a few rocks back and forth along the spine, but eventually we plant the feet to the outer edges of the hips. So see if you can pop right up into your deep squat malasana. You can use the hands to get you there. When you arrive, press your hands at heart center. Think about pressing your elbows into your inner knees. Activate your outer hips to really pull your knees toward the wall behind you. Nice. On your next breath, right arm crosses in front of the right shin, left fingertips reach to the sky. And think about wrapping your heart and navel up toward the sky. And come back through center, switch sides. Left arm crosses left shin, right fingertips reach high. Find some space through the front of your chest. Almost like you're finding a tiny little upper back bend. And come back through center, press your hands at your heart, take a breath. And start to lower your forearms down toward the earth. So you might have to shuffle a little bit to get there. But then eventually, one foot at a time, steps back to forearm plank. And when you arrive, just notice if you want to interlace your fingers here. See if instead of interlacing the fingers, you can root down through your palms, bring your wrists in line with your elbows, maybe even a little bit wider than your elbows. So get heavy in all the knuckles of your hands, particularly accentuating rooting down through the L shape, your index fingers and thumbs. And so we pull the low belly up and in, soften your hips to the height of your shoulders. And then on your next breath, just let your right hip dip to the right. Come back through center, left hip dips left, through center, dip right. Keep it moving with your breath. Nice. Keep the hips to the height of the shoulders. You want to avoid kind of puffing up through the low back and sending your tailbone to the sky. Nice. Take one more cycle. And come back through center. Start to walk your toes up towards your elbows for dolphin pose. Nice. So lengthen through all the edges of your neck. The crown of the head starts to soften down toward that space between your elbows. And just see how high up you can get the hips to stack over your shoulders. So in your next breath, bring your awareness into your hands. Pull your low belly in towards your spine and see if at the same time you can press into the palms to lift your forearms off the earth. Downward facing dog. One arm at a time is fine. But when you get to down dog, just find any little movements that you need. Pedal through the heels, soften through the back of your neck. Any fidgeting that you need to finally find some stillness in down dog. So the hands are resting shoulders width apart, heavy through all the knuckles of your hands. Think about the forearms lifting forward while your triceps wrap down. So you find a little protraction in your shoulders. And the front ribs knit in. Tailbone lengthens away from the crown of your head. Nice. And then on your inhale, drift forward, plank. So we stack the shoulders over your wrists. Take one more inhale. Hips up and back, downward facing on your exhale. Inhale, drift to plank. Exhale, press back, downward facing. Drift forward on your inhale. This time, kick your heels to the left, right fingertips reach to the sky, side plank, Vashisthasana. Nice. So you can always drop down to the bottom knee if you need to, modify however you need. But wherever you are, tailbone keeps lengthening toward the back edge of your mat. Front ribs draw in, left tricep wraps back. And then on your next breath, see if you can let your right leg hover. Pull your right knee in towards your right tricep. Find a little more space between the outer edge of your left hip and the earth. And then you might use the right hand to guide the right foot to the top of the mat. Hands inside your right foot, lizard lunge. So the back knee can drop down. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can always bring your forearms to a block or the earth. Just breathe into the outer edge of your right hip. On your next breath, if the back knee is not on the earth, go ahead and drop it down. And then bend your left knee. See if you can reach your right hand back for the top of your left foot. Gaze might go past your right shoulder. Start to create a little space through the front of your left quad, your left hip flexor. And then without slingshotting the foot, gently release. Plant your palms inside your right foot. Step back to plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Downward facing on your exhale. Nice. Inhale, drift forward, plank. This time the heels kick to the right, left fingertips go high. Nice. Notice if you start to drop your right ear down towards your right shoulder. See if you can lift your left ear to the sky. Stay long through the sides of your neck. And then wherever you are, let your right leg hover. Start to pull your left knee in towards your left tricep. Maybe you find a little contact between the knee and the arm. And then using the hand or not, left foot steps to the top of the mat. Lizard lunge. And if there's no compression in the left knee, you can always turn the toes out a little bit. Just make sure your left knee stays in line with your toes. And then eventually we bend the right knee, left hand reaches back for the top of the foot. And see how close you can get your heel to your right glute. And then release what you've got, press back to the palms. Step to plank, lower down, take your vinyasa, meet in downward facing. Right leg rises. And on your exhale, pull your knee to your right shoulder, pause, sweep your knee to your left shoulder, and then lengthen it up and back. Exhale, knee to the right, sweep it to the left, lengthen it up and back. Keep it moving with your breath. Nice. Awesome job. Think about keeping your arms straight and strong the entire time. Keep wrapping your triceps back. And then the next time the leg is lengthened back, bend your knees, stack your hips, but keep squaring through your torso so the outer right shoulder wraps down. And on your exhale, pull your knee to your nose, step between your palms, back knee drops down, arms rise, knee down, warrior. Nice, so take a couple of breaths to settle in, let your hips sink forward and down, but keep scooping your tailbone toward the earth. So we pull the low belly up and in, get a little taller through the crown of your head. And take one more inhale, reach a little higher. And on your exhale, frame your front foot. Pull your hips back to lengthen the right leg, half split. Toes flex toward the sky. Think about pulling the outer edge of your right foot back towards you. If you need to slide your right heel forward a little bit so that your hips are stacked over the left knee, feel free to go there. Nice. Keep the spine long on an inhale, lengthen. Left fingertips stay rooted, right hand to the right hip or fingertips to the sky. Beautiful. Find a little more space between your shoulder blades. Take one more inhale. And on your exhale, float your right fingertips down. So lift high to the fingertips of both hands. You might use blocks here if you've got them, but see if you can pull your low belly up and in, and just let your right heel hover the earth. Yes, stay long through the back of the right leg. Take one more breath. Drop the right heel back down, plant your foot, bend your right knee, arms rise, knee down warrior, just a breath. And then frame your front foot. Sweep the left leg high, standing split, top of the mat. The outer left hip wraps down in line with the right. Get long through the top leg. If you need a little bend, let it be in your right knee. And then keep the left leg super active. Walk your fingertips out maybe 12 inches past your right toes. Put a really deep bend in your right knee. Climb up to your fingertips. Think cobra in your upper back. And then use your core to peel the torso off of your right thigh, warrior 3. You can press your hands at your heart. Maybe reach your arms down by your ribs. Nice. So think about the navel pulling up and in towards your spine. Keep gliding your shoulders down your back. Outer right hip wraps back. And then we've just got one more breath. Maybe you reach your biceps by your ears. Think crescent. Step the ball of the left foot all the way back. Nice. Inner thighs lengthen away from each other. Outer hips frame toward each other. Take one more breath in. And on your exhale, left hand plants inside your right foot. Keep reaching your right fingertips high. Twist. The outer right hip hooks back, but at the same time, the right sit bone sinks down towards your right heel. So you keep that 90 degrees in your right knee. Keep rolling your left shoulder down your back. And on your next breath, start to get a little heavier in your left hand. Turn all 10 toes toward the right edge of your mat, and you might heel toe your right foot back like halfway. See if you can find a little more space between the outer left hip and the earth, so you really are breathing into the outer right hip. And if it feels okay for you to lower your hips down to hover and then re-lift the hips, and then maybe you lower and then re-lift, and then maybe just one more time. Meet with the hips lifted. Engage your core, heel toe or float your right leg back to stack on the left. Vashisthasana, side plank. Notice if you want to rotate your right hip backwards. See if you can let it drift forward toward the right edge, just so that it stays stacked over your left hip. And then on your next breath, can you let your right leg hover and pull your knee in towards your right tricep? The same thing that we did before. Really use your obliques to let that right knee tap your arm And then using the hand or not, step it to the top of the mat, hands inside the right foot. All right, so keep your right inner thigh glued to your right ribs. Walk your fingertips straight out in front of you. Get long through the sides of your waist. Just keep your right leg where it is. Send your gaze forward. Step your left foot up to meet it. So you're in a deep squat, squeezing your ribs with your inner thighs. Nice. And then maybe you reach your arms by your ears. Lift your fingertips away from the earth. And then plant your palms, pull the legs straight, fold forward, take a couple of breaths. Let your toes point in slightly, heels slightly out. And then heel toe your big toes to touch. Take an inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Come all the way up on your inhale, arms rise, heart lifts. Exhale, dive down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, step or float, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Downward facing on your exhale. Left leg rises. Exhale, knee to the left shoulder. Sweep it to the right. Lengthen it back. Exhale, knee to the left shoulder. Sweep it to the right. Lengthen it back. Keep it moving with your breath. So think about your entire body freezing every time you drift forward, and then just that leg sweeps across. So the shoulders stay stacked over the wrists. And then eventually we meet with the left leg lifted. Bend your knees, stack your hips. And on your exhale, pull your knee to your chest, step between your palms, drop the back knee down, arms rise, knee down warrior. Each breath in creates a little more space between your ribs. Each exhale knits everything in towards your midline. Soften the skin at the tops of your shoulders. And on your next breath, frame your front foot, pull your hips back to stack over the right knee, half split. The left heel might slide forward a tiny bit. Keep pinning the outer left hip back. And on your inhale, lengthen the spine. Right fingertips stay where they are. Left hand to the left hip or fingertips to the sky. Float your left fingertips back down. So climb up to the fingertips of your right hand if you aren't already. Engage your low belly. See if you can lift your left heel off the earth. Just let it hover. Yes, take one more breath. And drop the heel, plant the foot, bend the knee, come forward, knee down warrior, just a breath. Frame your front foot, sweep the right leg high, standing split. Soften the crown of your head down towards your left toes. Release through the outer edges of your neck. And then fingertips walk in front of the left toes, maybe 12 inches. Deep bend in your standing knee. Nice. Climb up to your fingertips so it's almost like your shoulders are at the height of your hips. And then pull your low belly in to lift your chest, warrior three. So you can keep that bend in the left knee if you want. But think about wrapping your right inner thigh up to the sky. Sliding your shoulders down your back. Activate the right leg. We're just here for another breath. Maybe you reach your arms by your ears. Think crescent warrior, step it all the way back. Can you straighten through the arms a little more? Press your biceps a little closer to your ears and wrap your triceps forward. And then right hand plants inside the left foot, left fingertips reach to the sky. Activate the back leg. Back of the right knee lifts up toward the sky, lengthen through the inner right heel. And then all 10 toes turn toward the left edge of your mat. You might heel toe that left foot back about halfway. Nice. Keep wrapping your right tricep back. Outer edge of the left hip lifts to the sky. And then maybe you lower the hips to hover. And then inhale to relift. 2 more times if you're moving through those flows. Last time, meet with the hips lifted. And then heel toe or float the left leg back to stack on the right. Vashisthasana, side plank. We broaden through the collarbone, but pull your shoulder blades away from each other. And then let the left leg hover. Can you pull your left knee in towards your left tricep? Maybe see if you can get it a little bit closer this time. And then step the foot to the top of your mat. Hands inside your foot, so glue your left inner knee to your left shoulder. Activate the back leg, walk your fingertips straight out in front of you. Nice, so send your gaze slightly forward, and then just step your right foot up to the top of the mat. Squeeze your ribs with your inner thighs. And then maybe fingertips lift, biceps by the ears. And then plant your palms, fold forward, pull the legs straight. Toes turn slightly in, heels slightly out. Soften through the back of the neck. Heel toe your big toes to touch. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Come all the way up on your inhale, arms rise, heart lifts. Hands to the heart on your exhale. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, step or float. Take your vinyasa. Meet in downward facing. Lift your gaze, bend your knees at the bottom of your breath. Step or float your feet to the outsides of your hands. Sink your hips low, malasana. So we were here in the beginning. Keep pressing the elbows into the inner knees. Activate the outer edges of your hips to pull the outer edges of your knees behind you. And then sit your hips a little bit lower. Drop down to your sit bones. Lift your feet to the height of your knees. Navasana, boat pose. Broaden through your chest. Glide your shoulders down your back. On your inhale, lower your whole body down halfway to hover, Ardha Navasana. Extend the legs. Exhale, pull the knees into your chest, lift up, Navasana. Inhale, lower to extend halfway. Exhale, lift to contract. Keep it moving with your breath. Next time you're lowered halfway, pause there. Maybe you reach your biceps by your ears, take a breath, knit your front ribs in, and then let it go. Hug your knees into your chest. Nice. Take a few rocks back and forth along your spine. As many times as you need to, eventually pop back onto your feet. Come right into Utkatasana, chair pose. So you might use the hands to get you there. Big breath in when you arrive. Fold forward on your exhale. Inhale, half lift. Plant your palms, find crow pose, Bakasana. Lift high to your toes, knees slide in towards your armpits. Maybe one or both feet lift. Wherever you are, though, think about pressing the back of your heart up to the sky, wrapping your triceps toward each other. And then on your exhale, step back, float back. Take your vinyasa, meet back, downward facing dog. Nice. Giant breath in through your nose. Giant exhale out through your mouth. Right leg rises. Exhale, knee to your right shoulder, and then just step your foot outside your right hand. Walk your fingertips straight out in front of you. Glue your right inner thigh to your right ribs. And then maybe you lift your fingertips, press your biceps by your ears. Nice. Take one more breath. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. Spin your back heel down. Come all the way up, warrior two. Left arm pulls you up. And take up as much space on the mat as you can. Let the right inner thigh lengthen forward while the outer edge of your right hip wraps back. Soften the skin at the tops of your shoulders. See if you can sink a little bit deeper, but grow a little taller through the crown of your head. And on your next breath, pull your right leg straight. Reach your biceps by your ears. And on your exhale, come back, warrior two. Inhale, everything lifts. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Meet back in warrior two. Nice. Right forearm to your right thigh. Left arm by your left ear. Extended side angle. The right palm opens up to the sky. Right shoulder rolls down your back. Get a little longer through your right ribs. And if you want to kick it up a little bit, you might reach your right arm by your right ear. Keep the biceps close to your ears. Soften your shoulders. And then press into your feet. Come all the way up. Reach back, reverse. On your exhale, windmill your hands down inside your right foot. Unplug your back heel. So option to hang out here. This is perfect. If you want to play around with some core stuff, you might lift your right toes, pull your right knee in towards your right shoulder, and just hug it in. We've been here before. If you want to take it a step further, lean forward, lower down chaturanga arms, and then you might think about using that right tricep as a shelf for your right inner thigh. Maybe you let your back toes hover. Vinyasa B. Take a breath. Step back, float back, belly flop back, however you need to get there. Meet back in downward facing. Nice. Left leg rises. Exhale, knee to the left shoulder, and then just step it outside your left pinky. Walk your fingertips straight out in front of you. Get long through the sides of your body, long through the sides of your neck. And then maybe you pull everything in towards your spine. Lift your fingertips, press your biceps by your ears. Just here for a breath. Walk your hands back under your shoulders, spin your back heel down. Right arm rises to pull you up, warrior two. Think about rooting down through the outer edge of your right foot so much that your inner arch, inner calf, inner thigh lift. Drop your front ribs down, lift your back ribs up. On your next breath, pull your left leg straight, reach your biceps by your ears. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Inhale to lift. Exhale, warrior two. Last time, lift on your inhale. Beat back in warrior two. Nice, left forearm to left thigh, right arm by your right ear. Wrap your right tricep down towards your cheek. Think about the left ribs wrapping toward the left edge of your mat. Or right edge of your mat, rather. And then if you want a little more, you might reach your left arm by your left ear. Take a breath. Pull the navel in, root down through your feet to press up. Reverse your warrior, breathe into the left side body. And then hands windmill down inside your left foot, back heel unplugs. Option to hang out here. Maybe you lift your left toes, hug your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Maybe you lean forward, lower chaturanga your arms. You might use that left tricep as a shelf for your left inner thigh. Keep moving the crown of your head forward to let your back toes hover. Kundanyasana B. And if you're lifted, think about your shoulders lifting to the height of your elbows. And then when you're ready, step back, float back, get out of there. Optional vinyasa to child's pose. Big breaths in through your nose. Giant exhales out through your mouth. And press up to your hands and knees. Cross one ankle over the other. Sit behind your heels. Sweep your legs to the front wall. And then scoot a little closer to the top of your mat. Engage your core to roll all the way down to your back. Hug your knees in when you get there. Give yourself a little squeeze. Wrap your right leg once or twice around your left. Cactus or T out your arms. Let your knees drop to the left. Twist. Breathe into your low belly. Soften your right shoulder. Bring your knees back through center. Switch sides. Left leg wraps once or twice around the right. Drop the knees to the right. You might slide your hips back toward the left an inch or two just to get a little deeper into your twist. And pull your knees back through center. Unravel your legs. Hug both knees in. Give yourself one last press. Take in a giant breath of air. See if you can sip in just a little more air. Cap it off. Open your mouth. Let it all go. Sprawl open, Shavasana. Let your body rest. So feel free to hang out here for as long as you need. But if you're with me, gently inviting some movement back into your body. And keeping your eyes closed. Rolling over to your favorite side before slowly pressing up to a seat. Floating your hands to rest at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Holding gratitude for your breath. Gratitude for your body. Take a big breath in through your nose. Hold it in at the peak. Open your mouth, let it go. Namaste. Thank you all so much for taking the time to practice with me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. If there's anything that you want to see in the future, leave some requests. And I will see you next time. Namaste.